Hello and welcome to a very special video. Today we're going to talk about the Chaos half of the Shadow Hunt box because honestly it's the one I have the most to say about, and hey, it's Chaos, I want to talk about it. So after my neighbors have finally passed out drunk from partying all night, I can get a little bit of space to talk about this. So how am I going to approach this? I'm going to go over what I like, what I dislike, and what I'd change. Now, if you don't want to hear any of that, sorry. Thanks for checking us out. Let's have a great time. So, for everybody else, what I liked about it. What I liked about it is that they kept the jetpacks, even if they have stupid little winglets. Please stop adding those. I'm trying to stop myself. What I like is that I like that there's no flight stands. I've never really liked flight stands. I understand the point of them, but I've had nothing but bad luck, and with a number of moves I had to do, always a bit of a pain. Though we get a lot of very much rubble on the base, which you could work with in multiple ways and at least makes some sense. But some people might not like that, but I appreciate it. I like that they are keeping within the design perspective of the current Chaos line, and they didn't go completely mad and add trim into such ridiculous levels. Uh, like, my absolute favorite is the Warp Talon that they showed, the basic Raptor, and there's some elements of the others. I like the beaky helmet they snuck in, but let's not go into that just yet. So, what did I dislike? Well, it's really some kind of petty things, so I'm going to be upfront with that. But first off, I dislike that they've tried to maintain the kind of face mask element that they had with previous Raptors, and because it kind of comes off looking a little cartoony here. Never was my favorite kind of design. It's not awful, it's just the way it's painted and the way it's displayed really just bother me. They could have gone a little bit lower on the trim again. I think that they should still scale the Chaos back to having a little trim on the bottom of the leg plates, the trim on the shoulder pads, and eliminate it almost everywhere else. There's just to make things easier, especially if people are painting or converting, just for example, because I do convert a number of the Chaos bits for other things, such as Horus Heresy. From there, I think they did a terrible job with the power pole arm, but I'm going to talk about that and what I'd change a little bit more. It's just very awkward in the way they've presented it. The other things I dislike is I dislike the Shrieker because it feels to me like something that should be an Emperor's Children kind of like jump jet unit. I think that would work fine for them. Having them as kind of a just a generic thing in there, I don't know how they work, but I feel like it gets a little too close to stepping on the toes of Howling Banshees. And I'm just not very fond of that being a generic part of just normal Chaos. I feel like it should have been more towards like an Emperor's Children because of the sound blasters and stimulation. I think that'd be a really cool whole unit of them with like sound blaster weaponry and stuff like that on top of it. That'd be really interesting to see as a concept. I dislike the Curse Claw. I hate his stupid little helmet. I hate the fact that he's in power armor shorts and he has skull knee pads. And I don't like the blade arm, his stabbing arm. And I honestly think that this could have, with a little bit of work, besides the fact it looks like a member of the Ghoul faction from the Age of Sigmar put in power armor, but I'm trying to hold it back. With a little bit of work, you could have upscaled him a little bit more, made him a little bit more imposing instead of goofy, that helmet. I'm just being honest, that helmet. And you could have had an actual Night Lord's Demon Prince. Now, I will say what I can change about that, but I'll save that for the last bit. Other than that, the only petty complaint I have is that I like the lightning claws to be all 5 digits, not this thing where it's the your 4 digits and then your thumbs are just spiky normal fingers. I think they should be all of the fingers and it would be more imposing than that, but I don't hate it. It's not a deal breaker, and I really like the bare head on the warp talon that they show. I think that would look really, really good if you put it on like an Iron Warrior Sergeant or maybe a Chaos Lord. That'd look great on them personally. So what would I change? It's simple. The Predator, I'd take his beaky helmet and I'd put that on the Curse Claw. Right off the bat, that's exactly the first conversion I would do there. I think that would make him look far better, like he's going through the changes. I would get rid of the weird little bit of sound elements that they have kind of shoved into them. I don't like the Shrieker at all. It feels like something that should be saved for like the Emperor's Children, but that's just my personal opinion. The power pole arm. I would not build the champion. If I was going to build the champion with just one big power weapon, or if I wanted to make a Huntmaster, but I wanted to use the champion, for example, his pose, I would take where the butt of the power spear is and switch it with the head so that it looks like it was more being held in a slightly getting ready to, or being a prepared stance. That would be my immediate thing. Even if I was going to do the Huntmaster as they show him, I'd just make that one switch, and I think that would balance out that pose a million times. Honestly, I think it's fine. I'm not sure why they're trying to shove a possessed or mutated kind of individual into every one of these boxes. I don't think it should be really in the main releases, even though this will probably be the kit that replaces the Chaos Raptors. And are they having bad sales on the Chaos Lord with Jetpack? I know he's in the classic, I caught a loyalist this big pose, but to put him in a box seems a little weird as for a Chaos Lord to be in there. Beyond that, I mean, it's just not a release that really grabs me in any remarkable way. I don't feel particularly moved with their little dumb claws on their feet. I do like the fact that the old-fashioned multi-gun is in there. I always love to see the older style weapons as opposed to the Prim Maris versions. Overall, I don't hate it. I think it'll be just a fine kit. It'll be really nice for Warp Talons, I think. I'll probably actually like Warp Talons for a change. So, overall, I don't hate what they've done. I'm just not that moved by it. In fact, it's the most consistent type of thing. I think that for the most part, most of these updates shouldn't be something that makes you go, oh my god. You shouldn't have a giant reaction to it. You should be more like, oh, that's nice that they touched these things up. Oh, I see what they changed. There should be a host of positives and negatives, and then you make a normal choice, not based on, oh my god, I have to have the thing right now. You're just like, oh, well, this is an update. Is it really that big? Or maybe I'll pick it up and add it to another project. There are positives and negatives, but what do you guys think? Are you guys really excited over this? Or is this just it happens, it exists kind of thing? But if you want to hear me talk about the other part of the box or just what they're doing in Killteam in general, let me know in the comments below. And you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.